welcome to the Soloflow show. What we are doing today is something special. It's a replay. It means I normally am playing a game live and let you watch it and partake in it, and I follow your inputs, for example, in the game. But today, since I had really a lot of troubles with my technical part of this, I am an improv player, but I am a gamer, but I was not a streamer up until last week, so it's still quite new to me, and I need to get better at it anyway. So, what we are doing today is a recapitulation of what was played in the last 3 days, or the last 3 episodes of the Ironsworn campaign that I am starting. It means that the story can't be changed compared to what I have already played, but all the rest is live improv performance. So you might think that it's not too different from what I do normally. Yeah, it's a bit different because I'll be more on the theater side of playing today than on the gaming side. The gaming side is to see up here. You see the dice. I won't be using them today, but they'll probably stay there so that you know they are here if they are needed. Yeah, looking better. Sorry, a bit touchy on the subject. Today I will be showing you what can be done with Ironsworn. Ironsworn is a book by Sean Tompkin, who's a great guy, by the way, and it's a very good game. It's based on a game system called Powered by the Apocalypse, which is a very narrative kind of game. It is typical to play some very dramatic games, and the interesting part about Ironsworn by Sean Tompkin is that it's also meant to be played alone. It's normally meant to play alone and write down the adventures of your character. I decided to go another way and play them in a stream for you. So, Ironsworn is free. You can have it free as a PDF on the website of the author, ironsworn.com. It's also available for typically for all gamers on Drive-Thru RPG, which is a place where you can find a lot of PDFs, legal PDFs for all games, all role-playing games you can imagine. And I've bought the hardcover version on Drive-Thru RPG. It's a print on demand, and it's really great. I also love the layout. When you look into it, it's very simple but magnificent. Good work on the person that did it. I think it was Sean, but I'm not sure. I haven't asked him yet. So it's a game powered by the Apocalypse. It's not a typical way the games powered by the Apocalypse roll dices, but apart from that, it's based on moves, and those moves help you resolve the story. So the story will be move driven. You won't see it today normally, but in the end it's about moves. Watch the weekly show and you'll see what I mean. So let's talk about the world of Ironsworn, where it's taking place. Ironsworn is taking place in the Ironlands. The Iron Lands is a newly settled world from refugees that flew from the old world. What they were flying from, fleeing from, is up to you. You decide. I decided that they are fleeing from the Golden Horde, which is a massive amount of cavalry fighters that went from another part of the continent and that were destroying the whole world, so to say. They are nomadic in their culture, and they are really good horsemen, and they are really good horsemen and bow horsemen. They are able to shoot you down before you know they were here. So people have been fleeing the old world because of them, and since about 5 generations have settled the Iron Lands. The Iron Lands are still very new. There are not a lot of structure there. There are no countries. There are no real borders. There are no armies. The biggest army you could have is like a raiding band or the whole population of a settlement that brings their tool together to defend their life, but that's about it. There are not a lot of big towns, and if there is, it's not well known that there is one. And there is no money. There is no central power, so there is no money. Everything is based on barter. Exchanging that for that, exchanging that for that. So it's very low fantasy for people that know fantasy. It's really on the lowest side of fantasy you can imagine. It's only supernatural. People think there are magical things, but they are not sure they exist. So it's more supernatural than magic, really. You don't have spells. People do rituals, and sometimes the outcome of the ritual helps them in their life, but they can't be sure it was the magic of the ritual that helped them. Maybe not. And there are monsters roaming around the country, the wilderness. There's a lot of wild spaces still in the Iron Lands, but these are few. There are animals, there are dangers, and there are a few monsters, but they are more like legendary than anything else. So who knows, maybe it's a wolf, but maybe it's something much bigger. And before the humans arrived on the New World in the Iron Lands, the Iron Lands were settled only by what they call the Firstborn. The Firstborn are elves, for example. Varu are said to be human-like, but changing into wolf at some time. Nobody knows really when, but they are savage. There were giants. Nobody knows what happened to the giants. And there were dwarves, but apparently nobody met a dwarf. It's only a rumor that they exist. And those firstborns were there before the humans came. And before those 5 generations, there were other humans that probably settled the New World, the Iron Lands, but nobody knows about them. And apparently no one met them and could speak to them. Probably they just went crazy being here alone in this crazy world of the Iron Lands. The weather is harsh. It's really cold in the winter, and in the summer it's not agreeable either. So yeah, it's not a very welcoming space. We'll be starting in the Floodlands. The Floodlands are on the coast. It's a swampy, marshy kind of terrain where our main character, Akian, lived in a small place called Pete's Fireplace. Because it is it's known for using a lot of peat from the moors to try and create iron, refine the iron from the iron lands. So, the introduction is over. Let us start with the real meat of the play. Akian is a young man, and Akian was given into the care of a smith called Karl when he was a young boy, around 9 years old or something like that, because he was supposed to be the next smith. He lost his original parents a few years afterwards, so he had only one family, and his family was Karl and his wife Helga. But Karl never considered him like a son, more like someone that was working in his smith. In the end, Karl was having trouble in his own village. He's getting old and he's getting sloppy because of that. And the tools he's creating are not as good as they were before. So he decided to put all the blame on Akian, because that's the easiest way to save his face. So we'll start with that. Akian, my son, I am happy that you are here, but we need to have a serious talk. Yes, sure, Father. What do you want to speak about? Well, my son, the quality of our goods is getting worse and worse by day. Every day it's more people saying the goods of Karl are not good anymore. We need to change that. We need to get better. Sure, Father. I have a few ideas how we could rearrange the forge and be more effective, so we have more time to work on each of the tools that we are creating. No, my son. We need to restore my reputation. The goods I do are good enough, and your workforce is not what I need from you. What I need from you is to leave this village. What? Leave this village? But I lived all my life here. How can you do that to me? I've never done anything wrong in this smith. And why? It's not against you. You know I love you like my own son. I just need you to leave. But I could really be useful in here, and you know that, and why are you doing that to me? Son, I have taken my decision. You have to accept it. I have already said it to a few people in the village. Do you really want me to lose face completely? Pack your bags and go away. Father, that's unjust. Let me take that iron. I thereby make the solemn vow to come back with great glory to this village. I will find the Titan Slayer, and I will reforge that weapon and bring it back to this village. And then you will see that I am a better smith than you are. On that note, Akian has to leave. It's just, well, he's not welcome here anymore. His father, or adoptive father, is someone very important in the village, so he has to go. He doesn't have a lot of stuff that he owns himself. It's more like tools from the forge and a few clothes and a pair of shoes, a rucksack. He has a few things, but not a lot. His mother, adoptive mother, Helga, decides to help him out and bring him some food, dry food and so on, so they can travel and at least not starve directly. He's more of a village person and not really someone that is all the time in nature. Everyone knows how to survive in the marshes, but, well, he has some dangerous things to do. Father, mother, I will not forget this. Have a nice time and good luck with the smith. I know the way you are going, it's not gonna last long until someone knows it's you the problem and never was me. Forsake this attitude and go away. I will not allow you back into my home unless you have proven yourself. I don't need you. I will find. I solemnly vow on the iron of the Ironlands that I will find a new community that will take me in and accept me as their smith. And there I will work hard as I can, until I am a much better smith than you ever were. Kling-a-ling. And on those fateful words, he just leaves his parents' house and goes, well, to the small haven of the village where the canoes are, and trying to find his way to the only place he knows, which is not far away. It's on the other side of the lake or the marsh area that is here. It's a place called Greymore, and where he was and has some connection to that village because he was there and he was working with them. He often brought the goods from his father and from his goods that he was smithing to the village to exchange them for any kind of stuff, anything that was available, to be sure. So he goes to the pier and meets a person he knows well, which is a boatsman. The boatsman was called Frank. Hey Frank, can you help me out? I need to go to Greymore. Greymore? Yeah, sure. That's not far. What will I get out of it? Do you have any... You don't seem to have a lot of stuff to sell there. Oh, no, it's something different than all the time, no, what we normally do. I need to get there and to speak to someone, but my father will repair any kind of tool that you have that is broken if you bring me there. Just bring me there and bring the tools to him, and he knows about it, don't worry. Alright, that's something he never did for me, but I have something old. Maybe that's alright. And going to find a wife in Greymore? Oh, I don't know. That's a difficult question that you are. Why would that be? Well, I've heard that you are not so welcome into the forge, into the smith. Maybe you should find someone with some land or some other shop so that you can, I don't know, make a way of living? Alright, yeah, that sounds plausible. I'll keep an eye open. You never know. Greymore is a great place. So, would you bring me there? Yeah, hop in. And so, Akian hops into the boat, which is a small boat, nothing very fancy, and starts to go over the water. The water is quite cold for the season. I like it that way because less mosquitoes and better nights, but still, that's really cold water. Yeah, that's quite cold. You are right about that, my friend. But if I were you, I wouldn't let my hand in the water. And why is that? That's not that cold. Come on, I won't freeze my hand into the water. Oh no, I'm just speaking about the ice crocodile that's following you. Following us, actually. But since I'm not into the water, I might... What? What? And then, at the last second, he takes his hand out of the water. An enormous crocodile just bites where 1 second before his hand was. And there is some tumultuous moves on the boats. Akian is very afraid and nearly falls out of the boat. And his rucksack just falls into the water, and in the last seconds he can get a hold of it before it sinks into the water. But then the ice crocodile come back and another time snaps at him. He just has the time to get the bag out of the water, but a part of the bag is bitten by the crocodile. And a few minutes later, when he feels safe again and his heart has stopped to pound like it was just before, after the crocodile attack, he checks his supplies, his rucksack, and sees, well, the damage to the rucksack himself is not that big. But the big ham, Helga, had put on top of it has been taken. No ham, and a lot of the food he had with him is then lost. My ham! That's unfair! Why would he get my ham? Told you not to put your hand into the water. That attracts the ice crocodile. They feel your warmth into the water. That's just the way it is. So don't put your hands back into the water. You should know better than that. We are in sight of Greymore. Look at it on the pier. There's someone waiting for you. Is that not that boy? That tramp? Oh, you're right. I can see him right now. That's Suzel. Yeah, that's a friend of mine. Don't call him a tramp. Why? He did nothing to you. Well, he's never good for anything. He just steals from other people, works here and there, but even though he's a small kid, nobody wants to adopt him. That's already a bad sign. Well, maybe he likes his freedom or something. Anyway. Hey, Susan! I'm coming! And doesn't take long time, about 1 minute, until they arrive at the pier. Hey, Susan! Nice to see you! Hi! I'm happy to see you too! Can you help me out? For you, Susan. Always. What can I do for you? Well, I've been eating for days. You happen to have something to eat? Well, come with me, let's leave this pier. And a few seconds later, they have left, trying the boatman to his home. Well, to be honest, I have left my home. I am now here without purpose or a roof. Maybe I'm happy to help you out with some food, sure, but can you help me out with somewhere, someplace to stay for the night? Well, yeah, you can come at my place, or, well, it's not really fancy or anything, but... You have your own place now? That's great, Suzel. I never thought you'd make it that far. What do you mean? That far? But well, it's a small hut. It's not really a house. It's somewhere a bit outside of the village where someone used to go fishing, and he built this hut to well, when it's raining, to stay dry. So it's not really great, but at least I'm not under the rain. Alright, well then, if we get nothing else, nowhere else, why not? And that's how Aikian and Suzel go to this small hut. It's really nothing much. It's really small. It's not even a whole room. It only has 3 vents and a big opening to the outside. But, well, it's a bit more dry than being outside, and it's protected from the wind, and somehow a bit more protected from the animals than just being outside. So they share a meal, and they share a lot of food, because Suzel was not lying. He hadn't eaten for days, and he was really hungry. But the next morning, they have survived, and they feel somehow rested. They had the night under one blanket together, and they didn't feel cold, at least. In the end, Akian gets some food out of his bag, and they start having a breakfast. So, I don't know, maybe I should go to the elder, Sibylan the elder. You know, maybe he can help me out and give me a purpose or a place to stay, or maybe I could smith something out. Well, you know, Tom, our smith would probably not like that, and he already has 2 apprentices. He can't take you in. And Sibylian is... well, I wouldn't go to him right now. He's been in a foul mood in the last days. I don't know really why, but really bad mood. I wouldn't go there. Oh well. Can it get worse than right now? I mean, I'll go to him, and I'll talk to him. I'll sweet talk him a bit, and he will know what I do, and he knows I am an asset for this village. So I'm quite confident it will go well. Well, if I were you, I wouldn't, but please do, you're free. So Akian leaves the hut early in the morning to the longhouse. Sibylian is the village eldest, and as such, he is somehow the person you have to talk to. He doesn't have real power, but everybody listens to him. And he lives in the longest house in the village. It's a tradition that everybody has their house. They are built long, very long, and one part of it is for the animals and the rest is for the whole family. So the warmth of the animals is for the whole house. Yeah, sure, that smells and they make noises, but the warmth is worth it. Hello? Is Sibylian the Elder here? I need to speak to Sibylian. Come in, my boy. Who's there? It's Akian from Pete's place. Ah, come in, come in. Hello, dear Sibylian. It's a honor for me to be here and be able to speak. As you know, I do not live here, but I have decided to go on a quest and develop my new skills. And I was wondering if my skills would be of any use in this village. Maybe there's something you can do that you want me to do, or something like that. Boy, if there's one thing I don't like, is to be lied to. What do you mean? Lying? Me? I've received a letter from your father, and it's not looking good for you. You've been banned from the village of Pete's Fireplace. You've not been welcome there anymore. So I've been advised not to take you into my village, because if I were, your father sent me a letter, he wouldn't do any trade with us anymore. And as the village elder, I can accept that. Well, I'm shocked. You maybe don't know the whole story, but it was actually to make him look better that he said that I was hurting the village. And why do you do that? Well, young boy, you know how it is. You lied to me once, you are lying to me all the time. I can't be sure that you are not lying, so I won't accept you in my village. But I'll be magnanimous. If you want to stay the day and the night, I don't want to know where you sleep. If you want, you are allowed to stay one last day here in Greymore. I'm shocked. I thought we had a connection. I thought this village was something for me. I don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Just leave my house. All right. Not knowing really what to do, he just goes back to his friend Suzel and the hut. So, how was it? You had a good talk? You were right. He is really in a bad mood lately. I am not allowed to stay in Greymore. I am devastated. It's everything I know. What can I do? Where could I go? I only know this place and the hut of that friend in the woods, and it's actually the farther away I've been from my home when I'm here with you. Well, that's bad, but you have probably to leave. I could try to hide you somehow, but I don't know, what would we eat? You don't have a lot of food here. No, you're right, it's It's not something I can do. Susan, my friend, I think we need to go from here. Do you want to come with me? Oh, well, you're a good friend and you're bigger than me and maybe, yeah, why not? Where do you want to go to? Well, I've been rejected by my home community. I've been rejected by the only community I know. I think I need to go somewhere where nobody knows me. Or maybe better, where nobody is, and build my own settlement. That's maybe a good thing. Then I'm sure to be the best smith and to be the smith of the village. Maybe near a road so that the trade could flow. Yeah, that's a good idea. Oh, maybe I could go to Stone Tower. Stone Tower? Are you crazy, Gaga? No way, I'm coming with you there. Why? I mean, I know it doesn't have the best reputation, but really? You wouldn't? Best reputation? You're just crazy. It's haunted. Everybody knows that the reason why nobody lives there is because there are ghosts, and that you're gonna die if you go there. Ah, come on. That can't be right. Doesn't really exist, such things, spirits and so on. No, I'm sure I'll find a house there. I mean, it's abandoned. Maybe there's a house where half of the house is still standing. That would be much less work to create and rebuild this house than to start from ground. Well, my dear friend, yeah, that's possible, but no, I'm not coming. I'm not leaving the security of this village and the people I know for some crazy haunted ruin. Susan, sorry to hear that, but maybe we'll see each other again in the future. I need to get to Stone Tower. And yeah, that's just what he does. He leaves Greymore and goes into the wild. There is a path, sure. Not a road or something important, but there's a path that he can follow, and he knows the region and the marsh quite well. So he comes forward quite easily, and he has heard from people that travel around that there is a big cave where you can spend the night, around 1 day of walk far away from Greymore. So he decides, yeah, I'll try to get there. And he arrives quite early. The sun has not set all together by the time he arrives, but at least he has some time to find some firewood and cook one meal while he is there. Sure, his supplies are getting down, but he will survive another day. And it's a small grotto, but it's not too cold and it's protected from the outside world. So he decides by the fire, with the light of the fire, to start writing down his own adventures. And he writes down what is laying heavy on his heart. That he has lost his family, he has lost his friend, he has lost his community, he has lost the only community he has. But now he is free, and the more he writes, the better he feels. And in the end, it's with a feather in his hand that he falls asleep while his writings are getting dry. He wakes up quite early the next morning and continue to follow the path he was following, and arrives at some place where he sees that there is water flowing. He just hears it a little bit. It's not much, but at least it's interesting, and finding fresh water is always a trouble. In the marshes, it's always worse, because there is water, but it's more standing water. But there's something flowing, and it's been a bit higher on ground that's around the rest. So he decides to go there. Oh, that's really clear water coming outside of a stone. I've never seen something like this. Like the stone is spitting the water, like it's living somehow. I'll take some into my water skin. It's probably good water. Who are you? And what are you doing to my water? Huh? Who there? Don't come nearer. I'm armed. Who are you? Identify yourself. Well, my name is Sasquatch, and I am a spirit living around here. You are a spirit? Maybe we can talk. I don't have to take my weapon. We can let it sheathed there, and maybe we can talk it out. I'm sorry if I step on your foot or something. You took my water. I'm really sorry. I didn't know it was your water. Maybe I should put it down or something. It's too late now. You have wounded me. Oh, I'm so sorry. That was not my intention. What can I do to make it up to you? Well, my friend, I have back pains. Can you do anything for that? Back pains? Yeah, sure. I could try to find some roots and do some herbal decoction for you. That helps. Is that alright? Will you let me search for it? Is that okay? Well, do you swear to come back? Yes, sure. I promise I'll come back and bring some stuff that I will find around and to treat your back pain. Do you have a back? Yes, sure. I am a spirit, but I do have a spine and a back. Are you crazy? I need one. Alright, I'll try and find something. So, Akian starts roaming around the source he had found, and finds a lot of herbs that he cannot identify, or he doesn't know what they are for, but he remembers from his friend in the hut, the unloved friend, that she had always told him that nettles are good for pain, and that mustard seeds are also good once ground. And he does remember how to find them and how they look like. And after half a day of searching and roaming around and gathering the stuff, he comes back to the source. I am making you a decoction of nettles and mustard. I hope it will help with your back pain, but I would need some more of that water to make it actually a better thing. How should I give it to you anyway? I allow you to take some of my life force. Just take a bit and mix everything to it. Then pour it into the river and it shall help me. Okay, right. I hope this helps. So, how do you feel now? Well, I was surprised you came back, but I'm even more surprised now. It really does help with what you did. I'm really happy with what you have done. If you need somewhere to sleep, there is in the vicinity a small hut where some hunters laid on some roofs. I don't like them, they don't respect me, but there you could find some rest. And Akian, not knowing where to go tonight anyway, decides to go there. He spends the night and the rest of the afternoon in this small hut, which is actually much better than where he was staying when he was with Suzel. And he decides to go around and gather a bit of food, find something. He doesn't find a lot, but at least enough for the day to survive. And decides to write down his adventure, to continue writing down what he has started the day before. His heart is not feeling as heavy as before, and somehow the encounter with this spirit has given him courage for the future. He knows he has survived an encounter with a spirit. Maybe not a dangerous one, but that's something, if he were to tell that to people in his own village, nobody would believe him. So he's really happy about that, and writes down also a few of the things he has seen during his stay here in the vicinity. The next morning, he takes off, goes back to the source, pays respects to the spirit, who doesn't seem to respond, and goes back to the way he was taking when he just branched out to the source. And travels the whole day. He is motivated today. Goes and goes and goes. And at the end of, the middle of the afternoon, he arrives at Red Crag. Red Crag is, a small village in the vicinity, not far away. He's not very far from home right now, but still, he has never been that far away from home. And the first thing he sees is villagers are nowhere to be seen. When he was arriving near the village, he heard someone running to the village, and he heard some shouting. But now that he has arrived at the village, he sees nobody. Everything's closed. Windows, blinds. Not even dogs or sheep or anything are in the street. It's like it's dead. And on his guard, hand on his weapon, he goes into the village. And from behind him, "Get away, stranger! We don't want you here! Get away!" "Hey, stop that! What are you doing? I'm not gonna hurt you! Stop throwing stones at me!" "Get away! We don't want you here! You're just a troublemaker! We have nothing for you! Get away!" Clonk! Clonk! "But I've done nothing to you! Why are you throwing stones at me?" "You're here for our wealth! We know you are one of those damn rangers! Get away!" And ow! Alright, I'm leaving. This is the third community he comes to, and this one nobody knows him. And he's getting stones thrown at him. That's really not what he expected. But he just leaves the village under a rain of stones. The other villagers also join in and throw as big a stone they can muster to him, and he really has to be as quick as possible to get away. And in the end, he doesn't understand, but they are all cheering the fact that they have thrown him away. The only thing he thinks is, well, they took me for a ranger. I'm not sure what they mean by that, but that's probably something bad for them. Maybe it was just mistaken identity or something? I don't know. Having no other choice, Akian decides to push forward and go on and leave Red Crag behind him. But he can't go that far anymore, and the way that he had to take to leave the village is some unmarked thing, a path, and he doesn't know in which direction he has to go. So he arrives shortly thereafter, a few hours later, in the vicinity of big mounds. Really big mounds. And he knows such things are man-made. He knows it's the tomb of some chieftain or something, and it's a burial ground. He shouldn't be near the vicinity, and definitely not spend the night near. So he leaves a few hundred meters and decides to be in the forest and make camp there. But sleeping in the night is always something dangerous, and the weather is not friendly. It rains quite a lot this night, the fire is put out, and he wakes up the next morning feeling cold, hungry, supplies are getting low, and also angry. He doesn't know why, but he's angry. And while he's making his breakfast to get through most of the day, some eggs fall down, the last 2 eggs he had, and he just goes into a rage, takes his hatchet and starts hacking all the way around him at all the trees he can find, and that's for 20 minutes. And he doesn't know why he did that, but he felt compelled to do that. It's not something that was really nice for him. He's now really sweaty, and his stuff is messed up. His hatchet is messed up too. But he has to go on. So he goes back the way he went to the next fork in the road and leaves to the direction of the hills. He will be now leaving the swampy area to a more solid ground parts of the flooded land. There are still part of the flooded land, the first hills, and he goes and goes the whole day until he arrives near the vicinity of a farm. He just knows it. at the end of this small path, there is something a bit broader. Somewhere someone could use a cart probably to just go to the path here. It's somehow strange, but he knows if there is a broader way, there must be some people. And if there are some people, maybe it's gonna be accepted there. Maybe there's a community. So he arrives at a small farm actually. And not knowing what to do, he just goes to the door. Hello? Is there anybody here? In the back, in the house, he hears someone coming to the door and staying in what is supposed to be the kitchen. Sounds like someone is putting stuff on the table. Hello? Someone here? Anybody here? Well, well, well. Who do we have here? Oh, dear sir. I'm sorry to disturb you. I hope you were not sleeping or anything. Ooh, it smells good in here. I am here on my travels and I was wondering, would it be possible to stay the night in your barn or something? I don't mind to intrude on anything or any, you know what I mean. But I am traveling and I'm alone and I'm really a good person. Well, my friend, anybody coming here, anybody coming to Hannibal is always welcome. Come and join me. I have made some food. I have prepared some chicken soup. You want some? Just get in. Go to the table and have a wine, have a water. Please sit. Be my guest. Akian doesn't know how it could happen that he's been treated so badly up to now and that this person is so friendly. So he just goes in and sit down at the table. He is not really wondering what the chicken soup could be made of. He has seen no hen house in the vicinity, but that's not something he worries about. He's just happy to sit down. Oh, that's nice. Thank you very much. I really appreciate what you are doing for me. Well, my friend, relax. You are now at some real good house. I am very friendly and don't worry, just relax. Have a beer. I just put some ale into your goblet. Oh, that's good. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah. You sure it's all right? You're not drinking anything? Oh, I just had one. I'm trying to cut down so it lasts for a while. But for you, just have one. Have a sip. Drink. All right. Why not? Thank you, dear guest. Oh, and it's really good. Yeah, hadn't anything but stale water for days now, and yeah, the taste is nice. The back taste is strange, but well, he doesn't want to be rude and say that to his guest, but he drinks up because the other one is quite insistent on it. Come on, drink up. Are you not feeling much more rested right now? Is it not good what I'm doing? Yeah, that's so good. I don't know why I'm feeling so sleepy and... Oh. There. Sleep well. And just like that, Aikion falls. When he wakes up the next morning, he's in a dark place, completely tied up, and he has headache without it. It's like booming his head, and he's hearing in the back someone cutting some wood. Cluck, cluck, cluck. And every time it clucks, it seems his head is gonna explode. Every time. But he also knows the person doesn't know that he is here, tied up, and that he has maybe his only chance to escape is actually wondering what happens. He sees his back somewhere near the door, and he knows, yeah, most of the stuff has been taken out, but he has to try. And he tries, wiggling around, trying to cut everything, trying to get rid of what's tying him down. And in the end, he knows the only chance he has to be free, he has to dislodge both his thumbs to get out of the ropes. And it really hurts him, and it's really hard on him to do it, but cluck! And he comes out, crawls around, and finds a knife which he has to take between his two parts of his hand and cut the rest of the ropes. And ah! He has to shout. And when he does, he hears that the hacking of wood has stopped. So he runs, still with one very much sore thumb, to his bag, just grabs it without looking, and just opens the door and runs into the forest. And runs as far and as quick as he can through the woods, and hears that someone is running after him, but not for long. But he's not sure, is that a ruse? But this person was really evil. He knew something was up, but that he might have gonna be eaten. That's what made him trouble. And half an hour later, when he feels a bit safer, he checks his belongings, and yeah, most of his stuff is away. Most of his food has been taken, and most of his tools, which is the worst part of it. So he takes the day and runs around eating berries and roots and trying to get as much of that as possible to continue his way the next day, and getting as far away as possible as the farm of doom that he was encountering, and finds his way back onto a path. Doesn't really know, is that the same path? Anyhow, it seems to be a bit broader than where he was after Red Crack, so it's a good sign. And it's getting always broader. Always broader. The way is looking good. But soonish, there are big stone, black stones, pillars, stone pillars at both sides of the path. So he doesn't really know what to do, but continues on, and after a few hundred meters, he sees that those stones are now carved, and there are laughing faces on the stones exactly at the same height as him. And he has the impression that the eyes, the laughing stone, are following him. He feels uneasy, and goes on that part of the way the whole day and feels about really strange. And soon, shortly before the sun sets down, he sees another farm near the road. And the stones seem to stop just there. And he decides not to push it. He has made really, bad, really bad experiences with people. He was really disappointed by the way he was treated. I mean, the persons he knew cast him away. The first people he didn't know that he met throw stones at him, and the next tried to eat him. So he knows he's gonna speak to those people, can only be worse. And he really needs supplies, so he decides to wait for them to sleep and make camp a bit outside and just take from them what they have, what he needs. He won't take more than what he needs. He feels bad about that already. And during the night, he goes there, he steals a bit of tools, a hatchet that was rusting in the barn, some food, everything he can find, some carrots, some cheese, and in the end runs away as soon as he can, as soon as he has enough to survive. And arriving at his camp, he takes out his knife and take the iron in his hand and swears a new iron wall. I thereby vow to come back to this place once I am better on my feet, and I will bring back everything I took and more. I owe that to those people. I hope they won't be too bad to me, but now I make the vow to do so. The next day, he just goes as far away as possible of this place. Far away from the stones, he takes another path. But somehow, he finds a big milestone on the side of the road, which has been carved with stone tower and this way. And he knows, alright, he hasn't lost his way that much. The stone is used and doesn't look good, and he can't really be sure that it's stone tower that's written on the milestone. But in the end, he wanted to get there, so he travels the whole day, foraging around and catching small game, and spends actually more time getting some supplies the whole day than getting away or getting farther on his way, and has to stay another night before he arrives at Stone Tower. But on the next day, at last, he arrives at his first stop on the road, on his quest, on his journey. He arrives at Stone Tower, and the place is completely devastated. All the hopes he had for this place are actually forsaken. He wanted to be here and create a new life, but there is no chance to do anything. All the buildings are completely destroyed. There's maybe half a wall still standing up to his shoulder, not higher, and the best stones have already been stolen. He knows there is nothing here for him. And looking at the mess his life is, he decides that he probably should have listened to Suzel, his friend, and that he needs to find another place to live. another community where the first contact will be good, where he will have a chance to settle down and build something. So he'll probably take a step back and go back more into the floodlands, more in the direction of the moors, where he knows his way better. But you never know. Maybe fate and destiny will decide for him to go there. So, that was the replay. That was shortened into 1 hour, the 3 hours I played on the 3 first sessions of Ironsworn. The 3 hours together. I didn't think it would be that much more compact, but that's a good thing. I'm happy about it. So it was a kind of resume of all the 3 first episodes, but without the game aspect of my show, because everything was already decided by the dice a few days ago. I hope it was an interesting experience for you. I hope you will come back and see my show. I am normally streaming on Tuesday at 4 in the afternoon, 4 hours of Berlin, so Central European time. It's somehow very early in the US, but if you are in Great Britain or Germany, France, anywhere else, it might be actually possible to watch. Now that I'm a bit better on the technical side, I will make backups of my live shows and I will put them on this channel on YouTube. So if you liked the show and are watching on Twitch, please come back next week on Tuesday at 4. If you are watching the replay on YouTube and you find it was alright, then put a thumbs up. That would help me a lot. If you really liked it, and yeah, it was really nice, then you could maybe take an abo, how is it? Subscribe to the channel. You could subscribe to the channel. It's gonna be, I'll put it there, the subscribe button later on. And if you really didn't like it, then just find the link and send it to your enemies. So that was the show for today. I'm gonna stay a bit in the chat if you want to ask questions or anything. And I'll be back live next week, Tuesday at 4 Central European time. Have a great evening, have a great day.